Grandma, what did you think of Allied, which is a film which takes place during World War II and centers on a couple who start out as sort of Allied intelligence officers who were in Morocco during the war to kill
Casablanca.
yes, they're there to assassinate the German ambassador who is arriving. Their relationship, though, develops. They eventually get married, and however, being in the business they were in, their pasts come to haunt them, you might say, and their story gets a bit complicated. Uh, what did you think of Allied?
I thought it was a very, very good film. I thought the filmmakers did a superb job of recreating wartime England. Because basically, the main part of the story takes place when they go back to London and establish a home there as married people. We weren't in the war until Pearl Harbor, but the British had been in wartime stance, a situation for years. And here the story takes place in 42 and 43. And our heroine, the lady of interest, is no longer working. She's a married lady with a baby.
Well, don't tell them too much of the story.
Well, so she's not involved in the same kind of situation as when we first meet them. Anyway, I thought they did an absolutely marvelous job of recreating the atmosphere of what it must be like, what it must have been like to be in London wartime at that time, with the bombings, from Europe constantly, and the paranoia that I would think would be a natural happening, if you are in wartime like that, it's just hard to know who to trust, what was going on. It was very difficult time in English history, and I thought they did a fabulous way. You just feel the atmosphere, all of the costuming and the cars that were used, and
but what did you think of the characters and the actors and
they were wonderful.
The story and all
they
of that?
Were marvelous. I mean, it kept you engaged the whole time, and sucked you into, okay, this is very something that could have happened, and you believed it. I guess is what I'm saying. The actors were absolutely marvelous.
Brad Pitt
and Marion Cotillard. She's so beautiful, and they made her up, as in the very best 1942 fashion, and she exemplified, or whatever it is, the look of that. I think it was just marvelously well done. What did you think? Did you?
Well, I mean, this is another one where I'm sort of borderline on it. There are some good things about it. Again, I thought actually that I'll start a little bit with the things that I didn't think that were particularly good about it. Considering the story and how it develops, after they get married and
Yes.
that sort of thing, I don't think that although they spent a fair amount of time showing how their relationship developed and everything like that, I don't think that the choices they made on the scenes that they showed, you know, of them interacting, did much to sort of really show you their relationship, or why they were attracted to each other, or why they ended up together. Again, I just never saw that attraction on the screen. Again, it's not so much the actors. Again, I think it's really the scenes that they were given. There wasn't, I don't think, the opportunity for them to show it. I think that hurt later on, when you're supposed to feel his heartache and her heartache, and how they're being sort of pulled apart, and that sort of thing. I mean, I thought Brad Pitt especially, I think, did as good a job as he could. He's having to hide things from her, and he's having to do things sort of behind her back for her benefit. But again, it's that again, I thought he did a pretty good job. But again, I don't think that the connection was between them. Unfortunately, it wasn't written into the story well enough for the last part of the movie to have the impact that they wanted to. One thing I'd say about the production design and everything you're talking about, I mean, I think it was good, but things were a little too clean and a little too new for me. I thought again, it was a little too.
You mean after all the years of war in England?
Well, it was a little too good looking.
It should have been a little grimier, a little.
Maybe so. Again, it was a little too good looking for the situation that they were in, I thought. But again, that's not a big factor in the movie. Again, I think the problem was really the story. It was an interesting story. It has a twist in it. Again, it takes it in different directions, and
we're not supposed to tell them what the twist is.
No, I don't think you want to. But again, you really grabs you, and you get interested in it. You want to see how it comes out.
Yes.
But again, unfortunately, again, the emotion I don't think was there, because I don't think the emotion was, unfortunately, presented on the screen to start with. They start off very sort of antagonistic almost, even though there's partners.
Right. And they work well together.
And they work well together, but they go from one end to the other a little too quickly. Okay. Without enough showing how they got there in between. It's a mixed bag for me. I don't know that I would recommend it.
Oh, I would. I thought it was wonderful. If you belong to my generation, your grandma's generation, I think you will appreciate the representation of the 40s and the moral problem that is presented in this story.
So what would your...
Which I'm not allowed to give you a hint. You have to go see it.
Okay. What would your...
Oh, 2 thumbs up. I think this is wonderful. We totally disagree here. I think this was a great movie, and both actors did a superb job with the tasks they were given. How would you react in this situation? Well, go to the movie and find out what the situation is. I think this is wonderful.
Okay.